Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. Today we are going to do a test to see which crop is the most profitable. If this is what you're looking for, please stay tuned. All right, folks, here I am on Felsbrunn. So we are on field 29. We're going to buy it right now, actually. Yes, okay. So I'm going to test all crop types. So if you go in here, we're going to do wheat, barley, oats, canola, sunflower, soy, corn, potatoes, sugar beets, cotton, sugar cane, and that is everything. We're not going to test any of these other crops back here. Those are the ones we're going to test. So we're going to see which one is the most profitable in this field. So all we're going to do, the same field each time. Field 29 I like because it's small and it's close to the shop. We don't need a huge area to test this. We're just going to see how much it is per, I don't know, per area. Oh, it just doesn't really matter as far as that goes. But for this, using the same amount of area, we're going to see how much you're going to make profit-wise, or how much, not even profit-wise, I'll say how much you're going to gross out of each crop you do. So I'm going to test all those crops. And the things I'm going to also document here. So let's go in here. We're going to have weeds turned off, because that we won't have to worry about that. We're going to have lime turned off. Actually, we'll have that turned off. I think that's a bonus. So we need to go check that real quick. So if we go over here, proving yield, bonus. So okay, lime and fertilizer we want on. We can have weeds and periodic plowing turned off. So if we go into the menu here, that's off, that's on, and that's off. So that way, and we'll turn that off as well, and we'll turn that off so you don't have to worry about that, and we'll speed that up to make it easier. So that's what we're going to test. Okay, we're going to test all those crops, and the reason that this is going to go like this, yes, you get a deficit if weeds are on the field, but if we have them off, we don't have to worry about that. If you have it so it needs plowing, you get a deficit, but if we have it off, we don't have to worry about it. We're going to have lime required on, because I don't know if it's going to matter regardless. So we're going to do it where these don't require lime, don't have any weeds, are fertilized to their fullest potential. Obviously not in seasons. There's 3 states. Here in regular gameplay there's 2. Lime for, yeah, so we're gonna have everything. We're gonna get the max yield out of these. And the other thing I'll note too is we're gonna see with wheat, barley, and oats, we are going to do a straw swath on that. So we're gonna see what we get for that as well. So I'll do kind of a test on those, and I'll tell you kind of what we got before the straw swath was sold, and then I'll tell you what we got for selling the straw swath. Now we're gonna, as far as pricing goes, I'm gonna kind of look at these and kind of take the average price, kind of the middle. So like wheat right here, a price that's probably pretty reasonable price, 700. So we have 563, 675, so close to 700, below 700, 2 way above 700. So we'll probably do 700 for wheat. And let me actually write that down so we can decide that. So these are the prices we're going to use. And I'm also going to tell you how many liters we get. So if you want to multiply it by a different number to see what you think it is, or at least whatever price you do, you're welcome to do that. Barley is always a little bit lower. Barley I'm going to run at 600. Oats is, I usually consistently pretty high, so I'm going to do about $1,000 on oats, 1,000. Canola, not quite as high as oats. Usually, sometimes, I mean, that's a $12.99 there. So I'm going to run them at 900 per 1,000 liters. That is the price wise. Sunflower, we're going to run at 1,000. Corn, we're going to run at, I have it just next on my list here. Well, I'll do soy first, actually. Soy, we're going to run at a solid 1,200, because soy you normally do pretty good on. So 1,200 for soy. And yeah, okay. Let me write this down. Make sure I'm writing these under the right areas on my notepad. Okay. Then corn, we're probably going to look at, I mean, we got some 8s in here, which is kind of unusual. So I'm going to run at corn at 700 as well. Moving over to potatoes, sugar beets, cotton. We're going to test cotton, sugarcane, all that stuff. So potatoes, we're going to do a solid 300, I think, on potatoes is fair. And sugar beets, we're going to do a 250, which I think is fair for them. Cotton, we're going to run at, that's a really high price for cotton. I'm going to run it at, well, of course, you normally get a pretty good price on it. So cotton, I'm going to run at 2,000, because I've gotten it, I mean, there's only one sell point on here, but on a game that I have on No Man's Land where there's multiple sell points, it kind of ranges between like 1,600 and 22 to 2,300. Actually, no, it got up to 2,400 once, so I'll do 2,000. Sugarcane, we're going to do 200, because that's a pretty reasonable price for that. So that's what we're going to go off of. We're going to test all of them on this field. Essentially, what I'm going to do is just kind of get going with the test. We'll do wheat, barley, oats first, and we'll look at those straw swaths as well. So I'll let you know how many liters we got off each field, how much it made to sell at that kind of average price that I had on there, or how much you would make if you sold it at that average price. Oh, and also we need a price for straw that we're going to multiply by. So straw is going to be this guy right here. So 62 there. So I'm going to say 75 for straw. So I'm going to say we're selling straw for $75 per 1,000 liters. So I'll pick all the straw off of a field and do all that kind of stuff as well. So that is what we have going on. So I'm going to go ahead and run this test, and I will bring you back in I might not even bring you back in until the end, either at the end or every so often to kind of go over the results. My guess is I'll bring you back at the end. So I'll see you guys later on. All right, I have completed the test. I just finished up sugarcane. I've done all the math and I put it in the chart. One thing I want to mention, I did change the price of canola from $900 per 1,000 liters to $1,000 because I felt that was more accurate with what was in here pretty consistently with canola. I mean, some of these prices too, you have to understand, this is just an estimate on here. You guys can obviously take the information I'm providing you and plug in your own numbers and see, okay, so what I'm going to show you is how much straw, if it was applicable, I got off of each harvest, how much of each crop type I got in liters off of each harvest, and then I'm also going to show you the results multiplying those numbers by my prices that I have to show you which one appears to be the most profitable based on what I have. Again, depending on what map you're on or what economy mode you're on, these prices all could vary, and this is an average. If you're selling for the lowest price, it'll be worse, or obviously if you're selling for a really good price or a great demand, you're going to be doing a lot better. So just keep that in mind. Also, another thing to note, after I got this field set up and everything and good to go, I saved the game, and then every time I did a new crop, I just loaded back in. So that way everything should be pretty consistent across the board. So I'm going to go ahead and throw up that chart for us real quick. Okay, so taking a look at this chart, I have the crop type in the first column, then I have the sell price that I indicated, and at the bottom I have the straw sell price, and then I put the yield in liters, the crop profit, the straw in liters that I got off the field, how much I made off of the straw, and then the total profit is more applicable to crops that had straw involved. So they're all in order from lowest to highest on total profit, but actual crop profit might vary just because the straw kind of adds to it. Because if you're using the straw, obviously you don't incur that. But going at yields, so the lowest yielding crop is soy at 4,289 liters. And then the highest yielding one is sugarcane at 101,032 liters, so a ton. Then profitability, as far as the total profit goes, that's where we're going to jump over. Oh, by the way, and it's consistently about 35,000 liters of straw I got off of oats, barley, and wheat. Yes, I know those numbers are a little varied, but as you can see, they're not that far off, especially for something like straw. So they consistently added about $2,600 to these harvests. So going over to total profit, the least profitable based on my pricing was sunflowers. Then comes soy and canola, which those are pretty good cash crops that I use a lot. So I'm like, okay, maybe I need to reassess. Corn wasn't super profitable either, but that kind of made sense. It's not a very pricey crop. I don't usually recommend doing it unless you're doing silage. Then it's very profitable as silage. Then if you include the straw swath, oats, barley, and wheat in that order come up next. And I was surprised that oats was actually at the bottom of that, and wheat was at the top of that list. Barley was probably in the middle where I thought it'd be, but I thought it'd be like wheat, barley, and then oats, but it was different. Anyhow, continuing on. Then cotton, actually I was surprised about cotton. I thought cotton would beat out potatoes and sugar beets, but it didn't. Cotton came in next at $9,476. Then potatoes, which I actually thought potatoes would beat out sugar beets, and they did not, according to this test, and came in at $11,807. Now again, that changes if we look in the menu here, which you guys can't see because that thing's up in front of you. But I'm looking over here at potatoes and I see a 369 in here, as the highest. So it's like you could get higher prices. Then sugar beets did really well at $13,772. And actually the modded BGA that I'm using in Wilhelmina Forest right now sells or buys sugar beets at $450 per 1,000 liters consistently. So obviously that price is a lot higher then. But then going down, sugarcane, even though it's only worth $200 per 1,000 liters, which that might actually be kind of a high one. Well, not according to this map. I'm seeing everything's over 200. I see a 274, 251, 254, 215, 231. That's probably a pretty accurate price. We made 20 grand off of this field. And the good thing about sugarcane is it does regrow, though you won't get as high of a yield every time it regrows because of the plowing, because it needs plowing every time. So this field would now need plowing again. But yeah, so interesting results there. I'm gonna leave that up on the screen so you guys can see while I close out. You're welcome to take a screenshot, obviously, that, or look at that and refer back to it. I'd recommend, if you could, just print out that chart, keep it in front of you, and then when you're going, then just look at that yield and kind of the comparisons. And then if you wanted to change a price, like you're like, oh, well, I normally get $900 per 1,000 liters for corn. That's like a consistent price I get. Well, then plug that number into that chart and see what you get. And to do that math, just so you're wondering, obviously the price is per 1,000 liters. So for example, my calculation will just go at corn, for example, $700 per 1,000 liters. If I take the yield, which is 8,771, what I would do is I'd make that 8.771 and take 8.771 and multiply that by 700 to get what you're going to get out of it. So that's just a quick math if you didn't know how to do that. But regardless, that is everything from me today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to join the channel. Turn on your notification bells so you don't miss any future test videos that I may post. This has been Farmer Cup, guys. Thank you for coming and watching.